Okay, we've got the shutters open, and so now we're going to go into the observatory. The first thing we want to do is, this is the dome support ring. This must always be latched when you're rotating the dome. If you don't, these spread out and everything falls right off the side. I had a customer that happened to. Freaked him out. Especially when it happens at night, it freaks you out. So anyway, I flipped this open, flip that out, pull it out a little bit. Now, hopefully I can see this from my little head cam. On the inside, you've got a latch that latches the door. So we want to unlatch that, flip that out of the way. Then there's this little handle. We want to pull that straight down. And now we can pull out the door and the dome support ring. These little brackets in here just sort of, if this comes off, it keeps it from coming off and doesn't put any stretch on the hinge. That's what that's for. In here, again, reverse the process. So like when you're getting ready to stargaze, you're in the observatory. You can't sort of go in and out. So door lined, slid that up. I will latch. There we go. And then on the outside, again, we keep that out. We will pull that in. Get that in there, and then you can see it's pulling it together. Boom. So there we have it. Dome's powered up. Again, I didn't mention this on the shutter, but this is the home position. So when you end up in the evening, you want these contacts here on these plates. Everything is 12 volt DC in here, but so if these aren't on the plates, electricity does not get up to that shutter motor. That's the only way it gets up there is through contacts. When you're out in the observatory, every once in a while, clean them off. Just, we'll rotate it here in a second, and then you can wipe them down. That just gives you better electrical contact and prevents any possibility of the shutter not opening. So over here, you have a little hand controller. And with the hand controller, you can rotate. So we can hit the clockwise. And there the dome goes clockwise. And then we do counterclockwise. And there we go. I mentioned this when we were talking earlier today about scope operation. Probably the easiest thing right now is once the scope is aligned, tell the scope to go somewhere, and then you can just hit the button to get this shutter in the general opening of the scope. The scope does not, or the shutter does not track scope movement, but you'd have to look at the same object for 5 or 10 minutes before the shutter opening wouldn't be in alignment anymore with the scope, because the scope is always tracking an object and the dome's not moving. If you do look at something that long, then bump the little hand controller. As we mentioned earlier, you can see right now the contacts over there are off the plates, and the plates there's the plates. So again, there's a little bit of dust on them. As they slide across, they should clean themselves a little bit. There is no danger right now of getting electrocuted. A, it's 12 volt. B, the only time power ever comes here is when I push that switch up or down on the shutter outside. So, in the middle state, you're fine. That's it for right now. I want to do another video here in a second talking about an emergency entry procedure in case the shutters don't open.